Come on. I think I'm live. Am I? Okay. I feel like this is up and ready to go. Okay. So, we had some technical difficulties. Not quite sure what happened, but Facebook said that they were not receiving any of the any of the material or the feed or whatever for live feed or that situation. So, uh, I guess I'm live. I want to believe I am. Okay, good. I see one person has shown up. Two people have shown up. So, yay, I'm live. Hi, this is Ella. And this is the second time I've come on because technical. Okay, so you're having some technical difficulty too. Okay, that makes sense. Well, so we're going to try this again. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea what happened, and it doesn't even matter because guess what? I'm back and we're good to go. So I wanted to say welcome to the Mirrored Souls book launch party. I am like totally stoked. I can't believe that today is here. In all honesty, like I have to admit though, which is obvious by the fact that I had to log off and log back on, I have no idea what I'm doing with this live book launch. And so, because I don't know what I'm doing, I just plan to kind of have fun, go with the flow, and see what happens. Um, I think, I mean, that makes sense to me. So, first of all, thank you. If you're here early and you're excited, thank you. So put some mojo out there. Go ahead and post some stuff on your timeline. However you can, tell your people to come and join us because I would love to have a nice audience. And if not, then two's great. That makes three. And with me, so it's all gravy. It's all gravy. So hopefully this will be an interactive experience because I don't feel like talking all night long, right? So go out there and pull some people in. That'd be great. Um, Sometimes I have a potty mouth, so if you hear some words and you're easily offended, don't be. If you're reading my books, you really have no reason to be. And according to everything I've researched about hosting a launch party on Facebook, I'm supposed to tell you a little bit about myself and my writing journey. And it feels kind of odd to do that with not a lot of people here. So, I don't know. Like, do you guys want to hear all about my how I got started writing and a little bit of information about me? Welcome to the new viewer. Hello. Thank you for joining. I don't know who you are. I just see the number 3. So that's great. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and stick to the script. That was another thing I researched, and all of the big bloggers were like, "Yeah, you have to have a script so you can stay on task." So my script says it's time for me to share some information about myself. I have this setup here where I have my laptop and it's looking at me, and then I have my husband's laptop with my script on it because honestly, you guys do not want me rambling on and on. So, Um, and please, the three of you, feel free to chat away in the comment section. I'm a lone wolf out here, and I'll try and get to everything I can. But yeah, chat away if you have a question about something I say or a comment. It's cool, interactive. So, first and foremost, today is a very special day. Not because of our book launch party, although that's like huge, but today, 28 years ago, my husband asked me to be his girlfriend. Around 8:35-ish on a Thursday, we were both looking at A Different World. It had just come on, and well, he was at his place, his house, right, small space, and I was at my mom's house. But we were on the phone, the house phone, because there were no cell phones, and he asked me to be his girlfriend 28 years ago today. So, happy 28 years of loving and falling in love with my first and my last happily ever after. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. And thank you so much for supporting me and giving me space and time to create and become this person that I'm becoming. So 28 years, baby, today. And so that's hot. And then tomorrow we celebrate 21 years of our marriage, of wedded bliss. And honestly, I never even count that. I always just count the 15th of October because I do. So I love you, and you truly are my happily ever after. So I really appreciate that, which is one of the reasons I chose this day to launch and release Mirrored Souls, because again, it's my happily ever after, right? So that's a little bit about me. We have three daughters. A 20-year-old college freshman, a 16-year-old high school junior, and a 14-year-old high school freshman. And yep, we've been in quarantine. Thank you, COVID. And I don't know, it's been kind of surreal, in its own enchanting way, having all five of us at home and kind of stuck in the same space. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, haven't I seen this show before? Haven't I done this before? Because it's so weird. It's like they all revert back to toddlers, right? But it's cool. It's fine, right? So we do have the three girls, and we had them early in our marriage because the plan was to knock the kids out of the way so that by the time we're getting to a really prime age in life, we would be able to not have any kids at home and still be hot and fly enough to do whatever it is we want to do. It works. So yay us, boo. Anyway, I'm a disabledly retired school teacher. I taught high school English for like 13 years, and I was diagnosed with lupus and narcolepsy with cataplexy. And I thought I could make a go of still teaching, and I could not. My husband said, come home. And so I did. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do with myself? I only know how to go from bell to bell. So it was weird. It took a while to get our bearings and to figure out how to manage the illnesses and to kind of, create a system that would work for our new normal. And once we did, I realized something. I now had time to write. I had time to pursue things that I absolutely loved. I had time to pursue my own agenda. I had time to reconnect with me, and I was like, oh yes, this is what I'm talking about. It gave me a new sense of purpose. And so I know a lot of people languish with illnesses, and especially like chronic illnesses like I deal with, and they don't necessarily do well with them. And I credit having the support and love of an amazing family, my husband, my daughters, my mom, um, my extended in-law family, right? So I credit that, and I credit my spirituality, my practices, my lifestyle changes as well. But really, I have to plug the fact that I found myself in writing again. It made all the difference. It made all the difference. So I began to kind of explore that. And it was the greatest gift I ever gave myself, was the exploration of my writing. And bada bing, bada boom. Now here I am, Ella Shawn, author of dark romance and other Eros-centered prose, poems, and musings. I like that. I think I'm going to make that my new kind of tagline, right? Ella Shawn, author of dark romance and other Eros-centered prose, poems, and musings. So I might do that. I might hang out with that a little bit. So I mean, I think like that's it. That's all about me. And I mean, that's all about me I can come up with. If you guys have any questions, or if you, hey Shani, how are you? Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, I didn't even scroll down to see people were here. I need like a buddy to help me with this. But yeah. So I mean, if you have any questions about me or anything I just said, again, I will remember to scroll and look and see what's going on here. Um, and then I'll just kind of keep following my script, because even though I had to log off and come back on, guess what? I am on task. I'm running on time, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit. Um, so I wanted to jump into like what I love reading, right? Because most writers read ridiculous amounts of books. Like my husband's always laughing at me because he's like, I'm glad you have your Kindle, because if you didn't, we wouldn't have any room for the books you read. I honestly read probably uh 4, 5 books a week easily, and I still get to do everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know, I'm just like a bibliophile, and I think most writers are. So I obviously love romance. It is my genre of choice, not just to write, but also to read. And I have this thing, okay? I have this thing about mafia romances. And like, have any of you ever read like a mafia romance? Like whether it's Bratva or Famiglia, that's like the Italian mafioso, or maybe the Irish mob. Holy cow. I'm reading one right now. So good. So good. No? Miss Shani Scott, listen. Mafia romance. Like, you don't really think about it, right? Like, oh, that what's romantic about the mafia? But obviously the real mafias, they don't look all that great. I looked at a documentary, and the guys were not hot, but the guys are always hot in romance novels. And I have this like love of it because they're so ultra alpha, and they don't live by anybody else's rules. Like, they don't play by anybody else's rules, and they have everybody in their pocket. Girl, hey. know. I was like, I don't know a Shani Scott, but okay, I know you. Hello, girlie. Anyway, I just realized that Shani Scott's actually somebody I truly know. So yay! I'm excited that she joined me. So glad she did. But yeah, this is my book launch, girl. Book 2. This is book 2. So I'm excited. So I was talking about my love of mafia romances. They are so alpha, and the mafioso guys are so alpha, and this like whole kind of counterculture that is so dark, right? It's so dark. And yet, thank you. And yet, there's a sweetness to it, like them with their women. And so it's just, I don't know, I love it. So I was putting out fillers all over Instagram and Facebook, and I was like, are there any romance authors who would like to help me, you know, with my book launch? It's my first time doing it. I'd love to have some authors to donate some books, yada, yada, yada. And so, you know, I threw it out there. And an author, Morgan James, said yes. And I was like, yay! She's an Amazon best-selling author, and she was like, I'm actually getting ready to release a second book in a duet. And, you know, I was like, okay. I said, well, I'm going to buy the books because support indie authors. And I wrote the first book, Pretty Little Lies. In my mind, I was thinking Pretty Little Liars because, again, I have 3 daughters, so I've seen that show in its entirety 40 times. So, but it wasn't Pretty Little Liars. No. Pretty Little Lies is the first book in the Deceptive Duet, and holy shit, it is good. Like, ridiculously good. I love mob-themed romances. And add a hot officer, like an officer of the law, cop, FBI, CIA, NSA, any of them, DEA, any officer of the law. And I am in like Flynn. And that's exactly what I got with Pretty Little Lies, right? So Morgan drew me in from the first page. The characters behaved as expected in the beginning, and I was like, okay, that's cool, because it's good to get what you're going for, you know. And it kind of lulled me into a false sense of, yeah, I know it's going to happen. Not plot twist. I didn't know it was going to happen at all. And so now I'm on this wild ride, right, with Jules, this sweet doe-eyed beauty who's, yeah, well, we don't need, you'll read it because you will read it. This sweet doe-eyed beauty and this fine alpha police officer, Eric. Sheriff Eric. Look, and this is just me because it is. He comes with handcuffs. That's all I'm saying. He comes with handcuffs. So you think about that. And I will continue to tell you that every bumpy ride of this novel is worth it. It is dynamic. The first novel ends on a very suspenseful note. And the romance between 2 unlikely lovers always gets my goat. And I have to say, and I mean this because I am honest to a fault, the sex in the book, I was very happy to read it. I was very happy to read it. I thought it was well written. I thought it was beautifully executed. It gave me some ideas. And again, Eric comes with handcuffs. So I'm just saying to you, if you like mafioso romance novels, this duet by Morgan James is definitely one to be seen. So, she just released the second book in the duet, Beautiful Deception. I've already read it. I bought it, I pre-ordered it. I've already read it, and it is as wonderful as the first. And it's that book that she has agreed to give a signed paperback copy away as a part of a raffle. So I know she's going to pop on eventually. I think we said she'd come on at 6:10. So, Morgan, if you're out there, then I'm going to do a little game, and then hopefully we'll get you in here after that. So, here's the game. You probably want to know what you're going to win, right? Okay. Here's the game. Here's the prize. If anybody knows anything about me, they know I love journaling. It is my favorite pastime. And so in the novel Mirrored Souls, like all of the prizes are based on Mirrored Souls. In the novel Mirrored Souls, yes, exactly. Then it's like there's a journal. It's a specific journal that is used by my character, Vivian, and some friends. And the journal is called Seeking Wonderland. Now, I have to kind of deviate a little bit before we get to the game because I kept telling my husband, there's something about that title. There's something about that space that won't leave me alone. And he was like, well, don't ruin yourself trying to figure out what it is. He was like, it'll come to you. And so I was going out and ordering stuff and getting things together, and I saw this journal. Guys, it's so pretty. I don't know, I'm trying to get it close. It's kind of iridescent and pearlesque, right? And it has this little flap, which is magnetic. And of course, look at it. It's all gray and silver inside and lined. And then I'm also attaching a Sharpie gel pen because they're the best, right? But I said I want them to understand the significance of this journal, and why I wanted to give it as a prize. So I wrote a little something inside the journal. And it really is kind of this is what, I know. Thank you. Look, you're probably going to win it. So this is what Seeking Wonderland's about. I've been posting Seeking Wonderland information and little caveats. And so I wanted to share with you the significance of this journal in the text, in the book Mirrored Souls. And I also wanted to share the epiphany that came to me as I was kind of going through this. So, Seeking Wonderland, I am me. I am we. My daughter and I don't know if you can see it, we got matching tattoos like a year ago. And I don't think you can see it, but the tattoo says, I am we. Can you see? Yeah, kind of. We got the matching tattoo. So, anywho, Seeking Wonderland, I am we. For every woman who has lost her sense of self, her purpose, her curiosity, welcome to Wonderland. Here, you can restore your passions, your creativity, your sense of wonder. In a word, your enchantments. One mind, one heart, infinite, mirrored souls. And I signed it. That is what the journal in the text in the book Mirrored Souls is. It is a place for the women to pour their thoughts, pour themselves inwards into, and reconnect with, reclaim their essential selves. So that is hopefully what I hope the winner of this journal will be able to do. I hope that you will pour yourself in here and reconnect with all the aspects of who you are as a divine and essential feminine power. And the epiphany that I had after kind of going through all of that was this. I have been kind of working towards establishing a nonprofit, and I've always known that I wanted to work for the upliftment and empowerment of women to connect with, with their own enchanted selves. And I couldn't figure out why I was so enamored with Seeking Wonderland. And then it dawned on me, Seeking Wonderland, that's my nonprofit. And that's the whole point of the nonprofit, is to create a wonderland where women can find and reclaim, right? So I was like, yes, I got it. It was really cool. So here's the game. Actually, I don't think I'm going to do a game. I think I'm just going to put a poll up. Okay? And the first person to answer the poll wins the book. So the poll is posted. Can you guys see the poll? Okay. Do we have anybody taking the poll? Would you rather be a creative genius or be a brilliant loner? Which one? Oh, reopen the poll. It's open. Is it there? Creative genius. And you're the first one to answer, ergo. Congratulations, Shani Scott. You have won Seeking Wonderland. And I absolutely know that you are going to put it to good use. So, very, very good. We like it. Great job. So, if you could DM me or message me your address, I will get this in the mail to you. Okay? So, thanks for taking the poll. It is 6:10. And so I want to know if Morgan James is available to pop on. Hey, Morgan. Okay. I guess. Oh, I can put this down. All right. I guess that when she gets on, then she'll just pop on and we'll make that happen. Okay? So, from there, I totally don't want to just like sit and talk about everything. So maybe I'll read a little excerpt from something. No? All right. You know what? Until Morgan gets here, I am going to go ahead and just follow my script. That's what the expert said. Follow the scripts. So I have 5 people that have joined me, and I don't have a lot of people saying anything. Can whoever is out there say hello in the comments so I know who's hanging out with me? Can you guys say hi? Because that would be great. I don't know who's kicking it with me. So while you're gearing up to do that, I'm going to go ahead and move on, so that, you know, I stay on task, right? And I'll keep watch on my comments. You were driving. Oh my God, shut up. That is, oh, you're not still driving, are you? That's my baby. Hi, boo. I love you. Happy anniversary. Hello, Irina. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the Mirrored Souls book launch. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep rolling. One of the most asked questions I get as a writer is, how do you even start writing a book? Like, okay, that's good. How do you get started? What's the process? And so I thought maybe it'd be cool to say a little bit about how I write and how I get things going, right? And just for the record, Morgan, whenever you pop on, it's fine. I'll stop and you can do your thing, and that'll be that, okay? So, Anywho, I'll say this. Um, I'm a pantser. Okay? That's a pantser. And a pantser is someone who basically writes by the seat of their pants. They're not like, an outliner or a flesher. Listen, I'm pretty sure, like I've seen these terms and, other writers may use them. And there's a good chance that I'm making some of these terms up. But I know pantser is a term for writers. Like we write by the seat of our pants. And I don't know if anyone ever uses outliner. Maybe they say more organized. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure I've not ever heard anyone say flesher. But hey, my live, I say what I want. I'm a pantser, and I don't I don't like the complications of being an outliner. Like writing an outline means I have to know exactly where I'm going. I never know where I'm going when I start writing, ever. Okay, I'm surprised by most of the stuff that shows up in my books, literally. And a flesher is someone who fleshes out every detail within their novel. Like they know what their characters look like, they know their characters' motivations, they know their characters' physical traits, like they know their characters' wardrobe. It's like everything, the settings fleshed out, the plot. And I'm just like, I can't do that because, again, I'm a pantser, right? A true Sagittarius. So I'm a pantser and I'm impatient. I like surprises. So I write like that. My novels are always character driven. I am not a plot based writer. Like, I am not a writer who focuses on what is happening as much as I focus on who it's happening to and how it is affecting them, as well as how the characters are affecting what's happening. So I'm definitely character driven. And I get characters, like I meet characters before I even know what the plot is going to be. Um, I often say to people who are listening, the voices are back. And then I get really, really excited and giddy. And I go like, they're talking again. Yay! They're talking. I can hear them. This is a good time. Because that's literally what happens. In all honesty, when the voices start, I pay attention. I listen. I'm quiet. I get really quiet when the voices come back because I'm listening, and those are the stirrings of my characters, right? And so I spend a lot of time with my characters before I ever put pen to paper or fingers to keys. I spend a lot of time with my characters in my head, in my mind, right? Because I don't know. I guess if I were like an actress, I would be a method actress. Like I would be someone who completely embodies their character. And I do. I completely embody my character and I allow my character to completely embody me. Um like they become so real to me that I actually like move like them. I speak in their voice. I think like them. And it's super duper important that that happens. Hello, newcomers. Please say hi and let me know who's joined me. I see a couple of more people. So, hi and welcome to Mirrored Souls Book Lunch Party. As you can see, I'm not really a big partier, but it's whatever, right? It's whatever. So, anyway, I feel like the more time I spend with my characters, getting to know them as 3D individuals, then the easier it is for me, hi, new person, say hello to me, let me know who you are, then the easier it is for me to actually write them as 3D characters so that they are more dynamic and more relatable and real, right? So that when people read them, they're like, yeah, I know people like that, right? Um, and as far as like what I write about, like how I come up with the what, I honestly don't think I come up with the what. And so here's where writer's brain or insane. Like I wrote an article about that. Is it a genius writer brain or insanity? Because I don't know that I create their stories as much as they share their stories with me. Like what's happening with them, what happened to them, how it happened, why it happened, or like I feel like they're showing me, right? Does that sound crazy? Does that sound like there's something wrong with this woman? Maybe. I don't know. But honestly, I feel like the characters show me what they want me to tell of their story. And it's weird because sometimes they show me stuff I don't want to write. In the first book, Âmes brisées, which is French for broken souls, there are so many scenes I just did not want to write. I was like, I can't write this. It's right. And every time I tried to go in and kind of make it pretty or change it or make it smooth or anything, just make it more palatable. No, that is not what I showed you. You tell it the way I tell it to you, the way I show it to you. That's how I want you to show it when you write it down. Like that's what I hear in my head when I'm trying to make things neater, to make things prettier. And so I can't say that I'm writing, you know, it almost feels like I'm writing someone's memoirs. It's how I approach the fiction that I write. Like I'm writing someone's memoirs. So again, you know, genius, creative genius, or es muy loca. Je ne sais pas. I know, it's like Spanish and French, right? So that's kind of how I write, you know? It's how I get my stories. It's how I get my characters, how they come to me. Now, what is my writing routine, my writing process? I am not going to front. I need silence, like radio silence. I don't like any sound when I'm working on a first draft. If I am writing it longhand, which I tend to start off that way, I only want to hear, and I write in pencil, don't ask. I only want to hear the scratch of the pencil on the pages of my notebook. Nothing else. If I am being, you know, brand new and I'm typing my first draft, I only want to hear the click, click, click of the keys. I don't want any other noise. I don't want to hear anyone breathing. I don't want to hear anyone sighing. I don't want noise from the kitchen. I don't want to hear a TV, a radio. I don't want to hear people walking. I need 100% radio silence. No music, no ambiance, no white noise, no nothing. Just see? And therein lies my giant dilemma and why my husband said, we're going to build you this shed, because I live in a house with 4 other people and a dog, so I can't not have noise. But I prefer utter and complete silence when I'm writing my first draft. So once I finish my first draft, which is always crap, like not just like, oh, it's a normal crap, and No one's going to look at you strange when you walk away from the bathroom. No, 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 no. This first draft is always OMFG, what did I eat? Light a match crap. And it's fine, right? Because it always is fine. And I take a break from it. I walk away from it just like I would, right? You just don't go in there. I walk away from it. I walk away from the story, the characters. I turn the voices off, and I continue to just kind of do my thing. This is when I gorge on romance thrillers and like sci-fi stuff, or if I'm not doing that, yes, for the quiet, Larissa. That's exactly why I am getting in this shed, and I took the time to insulate it, and I have 0.5 inch drywall because I want it almost soundproof. I even have other pieces of like foam that will be functional, but it will also dampen the sound outside of my shed because I need total quiet. So, yep, that's me. That's why I'm doing it. So, yep, there you go. But as I was saying, I kind of gorge on reading material during the 2 weeks that I walk away from my first draft, right? And because I don't read when I'm writing, because if I'm reading other people's books, then their style, their words, their thing may end up in my book. So I don't read. And once I'm done, I go back to it, and then I read. I laugh a lot at it. I chop most of it, like over 75% of my first draft gets chopped. And then I revise and I write and wash, rinse, repeat until I have something that doesn't make me want to throw my laptop in the garbage can. I send that draft off to beta readers, and then I get a whole nother 10 days of gorging, right? A whole nother 10 days of gorging on on books and crocheting and painting and catching up with my family, making sure everything is okay with them and that my husband hasn't stepped out on me or left me even. And I shower, I do all those things that maybe I don't do regularly when I'm in the thick of it. I get the beta book versions back and their notes. I read, I laugh, I chop, I revise, and I write. And that's what I do. So, here's what's getting ready to happen. And this is going to be really unprofessional, but it's okay. I have to plug my laptop up before it dies. And I won't leave you without something to do. Okay? So, I am going to leave you a poll right now, just so that I can go and plug this up. Bear with me. I'll be right back. Ta-da! I'm back. Okay. Thank you. So, everybody took the poll? Let's see what we got here. strong plot, dialogue, and eventually the HEA. All of the above. Okay. That's cool. I think I'll probably post that again eventually. See where we are. So, thanks for letting me take that little hiatus so I could plug everything up and I wouldn't be lost. And also, I needed to get some water. So, anywho, um, that's kind of what I do. I do a lot of that. I set aside another couple of weeks. I work on creating a book cover, and oh my god, I cannot even tell you. I love and hate that process of creating my book covers. And the reason I make my own book covers is not because I'm a graphic designer and I have mad skills. That's not even remotely close to why I create my own book covers. I create my own book covers because I'm cheap. I don't know what else to say. I went to Fiverr and I was like, you know, I'd love to have a custom book cover, and I think the least expensive option was like $350. And I said to myself, for $350, no, I can do that. I can do that. I always say that. Like my kids say, "Oh, can you get my hair?" Nope, I can do that. Can you make that? Yeah, I can make that. I refuse to pay that much money for a book cover. So once I've done everything I'm going to do, and I have changed the book and written the book and rewritten the book, and I have 14 versions of the book, and I'm happy with the one I'm going to publish, I start working on my book cover. And for the Broken Souls series, I knew I wanted eyes to be the feature. And I wanted the whiskey hazy color or hazel colored eyes to be the feature. So um, I made that front and center, and everything else is built around that. I don't know how to use any of those design programs. So I create my covers in Word. I know I'm a weirdo and it is what it is, but I absolutely love the way the covers come out. And I'm really proud of them. So after doing all of that, another pass with my eyes, another pass with somebody else's eyes, then it's on to all the fluff stuff, the back of the book, the front of the book, and uploading, getting proof copies, going through, correcting everything, uploading, and then publishing and promoting, and voila, I have a book. So I don't know if Morgan showed up yet. Morgan, are you here? I don't know. Okay. So that's kind of how I got, Broken Souls, Âmes Brisées, and Mirrored Souls, Âmes en Miroir, out there. That's my writing process, and I kind of make it sound like it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's not. It's really hard. Um, so I am not quite sure where we are right now, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt. And I'm reading the excerpt from The Broken Souls, from the Broken Souls novel, the first one. And the reason I wanted to read that is because, oh, my hubby wants to know what the hardest part about writing is. Um, Honestly, I think the hardest part about writing is pacing, knowing when to speed the pace up or when to slow it down, like the pacing of the plot. It's really hard to kind of know when things are moving really too slowly, and to, to be overindulgent with descriptions and things like that. So I think the pacing is kind of the hardest part for me when I'm writing, is making sure that I'm adhering to um, you know, a good, decent pacing so that the reader won't become overwhelmed with stuff and also won't become bored either. So, um, that's kind of how I judge it. Like, would this be overwhelming or would it be sufficient? You know, to answer your question. Oh, okay. So I am desperately trying to find my excerpt to read. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, did you miss that part? They pop in my head. I have no idea where they come from. I mean, maybe here's what I think. Before COVID, I would spend a lot of time out there people watching, right? And I mean, I still people watch. I'm just not like able to get out as much as I was to just kind of stare at people, you know? So, a lot of my characters, first and foremost, are reflections of myself, aspects of me. And then people I know, right? People I've met, they become a part of my character. So be careful um, when you are talking to a writer, because you will end up in a book. Some part of you will end up in a book. Okay? And so, in that regard, you kind of need to be careful, you know? And then again, I'm out and I'm people watching, and sometimes I'd go to like restaurants and just sit and look at people, and in my mind, I would make up an entire life for them in like 5 minutes, right? A 5 minute life story. Um, and they become a part of something I can pull. I'm inspired by art, by music, by um, interesting faces, and I don't know, everything inspires my characters. So yeah, they come from all over, and yeah. So yes, to answer your question, you are definitely up and through novels. The girls are our family members, friends. Yeah. If I know you, there's a good chance some aspect of you has shown up in a book. So that's kind of how it goes. So um I wanted to share a little excerpt from the first book, Ams Brise. Um, and then I'll go and talk a little bit about some other weirdness. Okay. So, Ams Brise is the first book in the series, and it's always backwards for some reason. But Ams Brise is the first book in the series, and the way this series is written, you have to read it in order. You can't jump to Mirrored Souls and know what's going on. I mean, you could read Mirrored Souls by itself, but you're going to have a lot of questions. So you kind of have to read the first book, Ams Brise. And so that's why I'm going to share with you an excerpt. It's from chapter 39, which is way down in the book. And I'll be sharing with you a excerpt from Mirrored Souls from the exact same chapter, just because I'm goofy like that. So, from chapter 39, Ams Brise, Broken Souls. And I'm sorry I'm not looking directly at the camera, but my piece is right here. So I'm trying to make it work. Ams Brise is told from John's perspective, and he is kind of an anti-hero, new adult guy. I return to a silent house, too quiet, and I immediately know that Vivian is not home. My stomach is in my throat as I walk to the kitchen. God, don't let her things be gone. I can't lose her. I love her too damn much. I turn toward the communication board and see her neat handwriting telling me she went for a walk and will be back when she gets back. Guess I'm not the only one who needed to cool the fuck down, I grumble as I make my way to our bedroom. I turn the side table lamp on and stop cold in my tracks at what I see on the bed. Her voice startles me, and I look up to see her standing in the doorway looking like the goddess that she is. You hurt my feelings and undermined my autonomy. I don't know what happened after that. I just know that I fucked up the bed, but I don't. I'm moving toward her, and I see that she's shaking like a leaf, and tears are swimming in her sad, scared eyes. There are gray clouds where they should be blue skies dancing in sun-kissed wheat fields. She's in my arms, and all of the anger leaves my body in one whoosh of my breath. I have you, lovely. Give this to me. Let me take it. She wraps her arms tighter around my waist, and she tries to talk. I'm so sorry. I think I'm losing my mind, John. She's shouting, and I'm scared shitless. The silk threads holding her formidable mind together are unraveling right before my eyes. Maybe I need to take Viv to the hospital, have her evaluated by a psychiatrist. I look at her walking in circles, her hands gesticulating her anguish and confusion as she mumbles a mixture of English, French, and German. Fucking Bolak. And I know in this moment, the only thing my lovely needs is her Dom. I am what she needs. So that is from the first book, and I thought it was a very pivotal point in the novel because it shows the arc for both Vivian and for John, this kind of dichotomy of fierce, formidable woman who is also confused and losing touch with reality, and how John is 100% convinced that the only thing she really needs, even as he questions her sanity, he believes that he's the only thing that she needs to come back to herself. And during the writing of what subsequently happens towards the end of Ams Brise, or at the very end of Ams Brise, I knew where it was building up to. Mostly when I write, I kind of have an idea. Like the characters show me how the books are going to end. Like I knew exactly how Mirrored Souls was going to end before I even started writing the first word. And so I knew how Ams Brise was going to end, and I tried everything I could possibly do in order to keep that from happening. My beta readers were so disgusted and so done with me, and they were so done with John, and we had a Facebook thing going, and they were yelling in the Facebook group, I can't believe he did that, why did you let that happen? And I was just like, I tried to change it, but it was very pivotal, I think, for that to happen. So I thought I'll just do a small excerpt from chapter 39 in the book Mirrored Souls. And I'm turning away from you because this is the new book. Look at me. Trying to be Vanna White. I am not. This is the new book, Mirrored Souls. And I absolutely love the book cover. I love how it came out and the juxtaposition between Mirrored Souls and Amdan Mirar. I love it. I love how this is so dark and gloomy. Not gloomy, but kind of suspenseful, and you get a lot of unanswered questions. This book, Ams Brise, raises a lot of questions like what, why, when, where, who, right? And then this book is light, and there is an openness to it because you get a lot of answers in this book. So I went ahead and I thought I'll do a little excerpt reading from chapter 39 in Mirrored Souls, just to see, right? Thanks, Larissa. You've already read it, I think. Yeah, you were in my street team. I'm still waiting to hear how you guys liked it. But just to see whether or not in some serendipitous act of the universe, those two chapters aligned in two different books. So, here we go. With chapter 39. From Mirrored Souls, the book that is now live. You can get it in Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. The ebook won't be available in these places for probably a couple of weeks. However, you can get the paperback copy on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, pretty much anywhere. Also, you can get the ebook copy at lulu.com, or if you go to my website, oh yeah, I'll bet. Thank you, and yes ma'am, not a problem. I said to myself that I've probably researched enough psychology and psychiatry, and I have, synthesized so much of it, I probably could go and defend this book, Mirrored Souls, as a dissertation and get a PhD in it, because I really had to go down the rabbit hole to write it. So, yep, they probably will love it, or they will come after me for fetishizing something that I really wasn't trying to do. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share this excerpt with you. And book 2, Mirrored Souls, is actually told from Vivian's perspective. So, first book is John, second book is Vivian, and others. from chapter 39, Mirrored Souls. I'm pretty sure I have a lot of bad words in here. So, and I'm so weird about that too. I write the dirtiest words and I don't really like saying them, right? Like the big dirty words. I don't know what my problem is. So, from chapter 39, Mirrored Souls, there are no words in this language or any of the languages that I speak to adequately describe what's going through my head in this moment. I'm looking at my husband, the man I've sworn the rest of my life to love, honor, cherish, and obey. Right now, I'm 100% sure I don't know anything about who Jonathan Raynard Ellis is. I'm trying not to freak out, not to retreat into myself and let one of the others deal with this shit, but fuck me sideways while walking me to be baptized in the lake of fire and brimstone. Vivian, I know what you're thinking, and you can't be more wrong than you are in this moment. I did not put a hit out on Kerrigan. If I wanted that fucker dead, I'd have done it myself. He punctuates his words with slow, measured steps toward me, making me aware of how far away from him I'd retreated. He stops just in front of me, his long, powerful arms hanging loosely at his side, hands and fingers relaxed. Hey, Nita, thank you. Hands and fingers relaxed. Nothing about his posture is threatening or conveys how truly dangerous he is. But I know enough of him to know how tightly he is leashing himself. As he stands before me, chaotic energy vibrating through and bouncing off him collides with my own erratic waves, causing microscopic supernovas to explode in the universe we create when we're in each other's presence. And forgive me, but when he's like this, my panties don't stand a chance in hell of staying dry. Well, he's waiting for me to say something, to refute his assessment of the thoughts floating through my head. But he already knows, because he knows me. Well, John, I kind of thought, yeah, maybe if you know the kind of people who could rip out chunks of scalp from someone's head and then that someone ends up dead. Yeah, babe, I was thinking you put a hit out on my former therapist. An irreverent giggle bubbles up my throat before I can shut it down. It spills from my full lips and slithers across the floor. God, I hope it dies a fast death. But no. The giggle crawls up John's wool trouser covered leg and tickles his ribcage. And soon we're both laughing like two insane therapist killing lunatics. Until we're not. Until the room is shrouded in a severe silence of acknowledgement that leaves spiders crawling all over our skin, laying poisonous eggs in our eyes to run like vicious venom as the silence wraps around our throats. I didn't order a hit on him. I've only ever killed one person in my life. Boom. That's chapter 39, some of it. And I thought, oh, holy hell. They kind of danced together. Yes, I know, right? Like, exactly. That's like one of my favorite parts in the book. It's one of my favorite parts in the book where she's actually considering, wait, I don't really know this man as well as I thought I did. And then, of course, chapter 39 in Ams Brise, he had to take that thought into consideration himself, right? And so I was, pleasantly surprised at the synchronicity, at how the universe was giving me a wink, right? But those are the excerpts, and I have to talk a little bit about the material that I deal with in Mirrored Souls, and I'm Sprise. Larissa, you said your counseling friends would love it. The genre of romance I write is called dark romance. And dark romance deals with a lot of the darker, depraved, debased aspects of human nature. The stuff that people don't want to think about, the stuff that people don't want to talk about. We wrap it around eros, and then we call it, we find a happily ever after through all that darkness. But honestly, my whole purpose is to shine a light on all that darkness, because it exists in all of us, right? Like, we all have darkness that exists in us. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be able to see or appreciate or share the light. And so I tend to gravitate towards the darker musings, right, of humanity. I don't write fluff, happy pieces. I don't write sweet romance. I don't write rom-com because I have a kind of acerbic sense of humor, and it filters through my writing. I address a lot of childhood sexual trauma and childhood sexual abuse. I guess abuse and trauma are the same thing, right? So a lot of childhood sexual abuse that leads to trauma, and also parental neglect. I address colorism. I address racism. I address the elephant in the room. I grew up in a rural community down in Lower Richland, South Carolina, and I don't care what anybody says, like, all of those little pockets of communities, right? There was always an older person, an older man or an older woman in the neighborhood who was not right, who did things to children that they ought not be doing. And like, everybody knew who the person was in the neighborhood, in the community, but that person was also a deacon, or an usher, or sang on the choir, or was older and very well respected, right? Thank you, I appreciate that. And so you have these little pockets of deviancy, especially I find in Black communities. And I'm sure it's not only in the South, but I'm a Southerner, so yeah, I'm going with the South. You have these little pockets of deviancy in within these smaller communities, and everybody knows, but nobody talks about it. And then the kids just grow up, and they go about their way, and they haven't said anything to anyone, and no one talks about it. And then one day you run into someone from the old neighborhood, and you're like, you remember so and so? Did you believe that he was actually doing that? And you're like, yeah, that's why I never went over there. And then it's like, yeah, well, he did to me. And so you get these kind of backlash stories, and no one says anything, and that just pisses me off. So I wanted to address that, especially in Sprise. I flipped it and had it as an older lady in the neighborhood who was preying on teenage boys, but everyone knew, and no one did anything, right? No one said anything. In the book, in Mirrored Souls, I deal with a lot of like mental health issues with Vivian, and even in Sprise, I deal with mental illness because it's real. It happens. I often talked about earlier that my mom is bipolar, and she was very, very like proactive in making sure that her children knew what was going on with her, that she was actually sick and not like crazy like everybody said she was, that she had an illness and that she could get treated, but it was something that was going to be a part of her life forever. And so I wanted to address mental illness in my writing in a way that was respectful, as well as informative. I also was a little bit leery about writing a character who had dissociative identity disorder, because I didn't want to fetishize. Like, I didn't want to make that kind of a fetish, right? Ooh, I want to find a girl with DID, or I want to find a guy with DID. That way I have like 5 lovers in one person. Like, I didn't want to do that. So I was very careful and pragmatic about how I went about writing Vivian's character and her alters and how they interacted with each other and with other people. But I write romance. So obviously there's sex involved, and I write dark romance. So it is extremely explicit sex. And I hope that I didn't fetishize any of it. My intention was not to. It was to really explore this concept of being fractured as a woman. Maybe not to that degree of having dissociative identity disorder, but simply feeling fractured, like there has been a loss of purpose, loss of self. And so, yeah, I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. I wanted to make sure that we were able to explore this as kind of an allegorical metaphor for women who are pulled in 23 different directions and can't seem to make heads or tails of it. For women who are forced to be everything to everyone and nothing to self. It was a way for me to explore See, that's what I was, and I'm talking to Larissa. She says, I feel you didn't fetishize it. People like Vivian do have lives and romance. Exactly. I did so much research, Larissa. I can't even tell you. I was like emailing back and forth with several women who have like YouTube channels, because they document their dissociative identity disorder. And so I was going back and forth with them for the last 2 years, because I wanted to make sure that I was not creating some niche for people who would take it that way. So thank you. That makes me feel a lot better about putting it out there. But yeah, just handling the writing of that. It was a way for me to explore how a woman who has so many hats to wear can use all of them, use every aspect of herself as a collective when it's needed, right? And then how to maintain the integrity of all of those separate aspects for the purpose of, I don't know, of being authentic and essential. It was my way to explore the difference between succumbing to that fragmented, fractured lifestyle that I myself at one time was living, versus creating a wonderland of my life where I am all that I am, and I can choose to be all of it or some of it and be unapologetic at the same time, you know? And that's really what I was exploring, was how to own every part of myself as a woman while not feeling the need to apologize for any of it, nor feeling the need to share all of it with anyone. Like, owning me for me as a woman and not apologizing for any any part of myself. And so that's why I kind of I fell into the dissociative identity disorder, um, because I was exploring some other stuff, right? That's how it happened. So I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to have come on Facebook Live, um, and really really happy that Sean was able to join me. She won a journal. Um, I'm so happy, Larissa. Thank you so much for joining me and staying with me the entire time. And because you did, guess what you get? Guess what you get? You win the grand prize. You win the grand prize, um, which is a signed copy of my novel, Mirrored Souls, and a signed copy of my good friend L.G. McGill's Vanish Me. It's an FBI romance, and ooh, you're gonna love it. I promise you, you are going to love it. And I think, yeah, you're gonna love it. So, author L. McGill, please be sure to go to her Instagram page at author, right, at LG period McGill period author on Instagram and follow her. When you read this, please go leave a review for her. She's a great writer, best-selling author. I hope so. We can like sit and crochet together and talk smack, because I think you and I are probably spirit animals, Larissa. So not this weekend, because my man's planning something for our anniversary. Woot, woot. And I think your girl's going to be over here for a big game night. So, but we definitely need to hang out. And you win a signed hard copy of my book. But that's not all, Larissa. That is not all. So, that big prize pack that I had for everything, 2 t-shirts, Hamsa Hand, the Hamsa Hand incense burner, and 7 packs of 12 incense, 1 for each of the chakras. So, because this is all inspired by Vivian's journey to Wonderland. This is all inspired by what she started incorporating in her life and in her practice, and you know, to help with everything that was going on with her. So we have some t-shirts. Oh, we have some facial masks, and yep, look. This should look very, very familiar. This little black bag and the note. And these are some handmade crochet facial scrubbies done by yours truly, with some masks, a mug, and 2 things of tea, both of which they're loose teas, and they're both featured in the novel because she drinks them. A couple of Kind protein breakfast bars, because yum, and 2 crochet bookmarks. This one is done with beads, and this one is a gorgeous one that I did with silver metallic string. Can you see that? Look, I don't even know where my camera is. Yeah. And it has a beautiful little piece charm on it. So this prize pack is all yours. I kind of knew you were going to get it anyway, because why? You have been so freaking supportive throughout this entire process as a part of my street team, as like just my friend, and you led me to Ryan Freeman, and he hooked me up, and you led me to some other people. So thank you so much, Larissa. I can't wait. Can't wait for you to get this. And thank you to everyone who joined me. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure why Morgan wasn't able to pop on, and I don't know. Nikki Ray was also supposed to at least try and post. She hasn't been feeling well. She's supposed to post. I'm not quite sure what happened with that or with those giveaways. No, you don't try, you do, and that is why I'm so grateful and thankful that I am able to call you a friend. So, if my husband is still watching, I love you. You don't get the prize pack, but you know you get me, baby. I right? That's right. You get me. So, after this, I think this was a success. I mean, it wasn't like a whole bunch of people, but it was a lot of fun. I have fun talking with everybody that did show up. I appreciate you loads. If you go to my website, that's www.authorellishawn. On the first page, you will be able to buy the book. If you want an ebook, you have to go through my website to get that. Um, and if you want the hard copy or the paperback copy, you can go to any vendor and get that. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon all over the world. They're carrying it, and I think it should be on Kobo and iBook, and it is almost. I think it'll be on Nook shortly, and it should be ebook Kindle ready pretty soon. They just take forever to approve it because I didn't go through Amazon this time. Wow, I know, babe. Sorry, probably shouldn't have put that out there. So, this is Elishon. I have totally enjoyed this. I think I may go live a little bit more on Facebook. It was fun. Um, I'm gonna sign off because I just realized I've not eaten all day long, and I'm starving. So I'm gonna go bother my husband to see if he will take me to Jersey Mike's to get a veggie sub, because that's what I want. And Larissa, congratulations again. I so appreciate you. Um, and thank you, Sean, for joining me and texting while driving. Don't do that again. I'll be putting your journal and pen in the mail. And thank you so much to Lanita, my niece, for joining me. I know you had to go, girl. Take care of my beautiful grandniece Nola. Tell her Aunt Vi said hi. And let's see. Thank you so much, Irina, for joining me. I greatly appreciate you for doing so. And I want to make sure I got everybody. I did. That's it. Thank you to the authors who helped me: L.G. McGill, Nikki Ray, and Morgan James. I appreciate it. Even if for some reason we were not able to connect, it was fine. I'm still like yay and appreciative. So, this is Elshawn reminding you as always, be brave, be beautiful, and stay enchanting. Bye.